Hello, good morning children. How are you? I hope you are all fine. Children, today we are going to learn about the continuation of plant tissue culture. So, we are going to learn these things, micropropagation and artificial seed preparation, then virus-free plant formation, germplasm conservation, cryopreservation, biosafety, bioethics, and a future biotechnology. So these are the things we are going to see today. These are the things we are going to see today. Okay. So first of all, what does mean by micropropagation? What does mean by micropropagation? From the single cell, the entire plant formation technique is called as. It is impossible, no? So if you want to place a seed or if you want to do vegetative reproduction, this is apart from this normal pattern. We are preparing an entire plant from a single cell. So that is called as what? Micropropagation. That is called as from. So it is maximum useful for the some of the asexual plants which cannot be produced by means of seeds or like those things. Okay. So here we are going to they have done in a banana plant. So come, let's learn how we can do a micropropagation in banana plant. So first, for that we have to select the part of the banana. So which is banana plant, the sucker surface is selected for this process. Okay, the sucker part which is said to be pseudostem. So that pseudostem has to be taken and it has to be sterilized by using the 1% NaOCl. Okay, so NaOCl is used to sterile the sucker part of the banana plant for 30 minutes. How much? For 30 minutes we have to sterile it. After that we have to take us the culture medium. So what we are taking here, MS medium, and along with that we are adding benzyl aminopurine for 10 mg per L, and that is indole acetic acid. This is growth hormone. It is said to be a growth hormone. So we are taking 1 mg per liter. And so if you are adding the that is what, the culture medium along with that benzyl aminopurine and indole acetic acid, it will start to induce the shoot system within 168 days. So entering only single cell, and if you are allowing the 168 days after introducing it in the culture medium, you can find the shoot induction. What is shoot induction? A shoot will be formed from the tissue. Okay, after that same culture medium, if you add in chitin and naphthalene acetic, that is naphthalene AC. So naphthalene acetic acid, so it will be for the amount of 0.0, that is 0.5 mg per L, and chitin should be 2 mg per L, 2 mg per L. So these two hormones are used to do induction or induce the root system from the that is what, from the cell. Okay, so from the cell, these things will be start to induce the shoot system, and these things will be induce the root system. So shoot is formed and root is formed. So then what we have to go for the acclimatization. What is acclimatization? So certain procedures are followed to make the plant to accept the normal environmental conditions. Still that it will be grown in the culture medium and in the test tube baby, like test tube baby, it's grown in a small test tube. Okay, now we are going to transfer this plant into a normal environmental conditions. For that we have to prepare the plant. So that preparation is called as acclimatization, which is already informed you, which is very important 2-mark question. Okay, and next one, after the acclimatization we have to check whether all the genetics are uniform or uniformly it's present or not. So genetic uniformity will be checked, and then it has to be placed in the normal environmental condition by the process is called as hardening. Okay, so this is called as micropropagation of banana. And next one is artificial seed. Children, do you know what is artificial seed? We need we know the seeds. What are seeds? If you open any fruits, you can find the seeds. That seeds is entirely differ from the artificial seed. So in artificial seed is nothing but, so what is the normal plant tissue culture procedure? A cell is introduced or organ will be introduced. So that organ in the culture medium with the hormones, it start to produce a callus. What is callus? Undifferentiated mass of cell is called as callus. Okay. So here, then if you allow the callus to form an embryoid, so that embryoid itself taken, okay, that embryoid is taken, and then that is coated with agarose and sodium alginate. Agarose and sodium alginate. These two are used to form the outer seed coat. These two are used to form the outer transparent seed coat. Outer transparent seed coat. Now see, this embryoid is having, what are the things it has? It has cytoplasm, it has nucleus, it has what is cell structure, and it has starch, protein, all the essential oil for the future plant growth. Okay, so this is the artificial seed. So this artificial seed is present inside the coat. That coat is made up of agarose and sodium alginate. Agarose and sodium alginate. Okay, so this will be forming a transparent outer seed coat, so which is useful for the embryo to preserve. So when if we are putting the artificial seed in the soil, it will emerge as a normal plant. Or so we can go for the further procedure, that seed can be stored for a long time. Okay, so these seeds can be stored for a long time. If you use the seed in a culture medium for starting, if you add this in a culture medium, it start to form by using the hormones, the shoot system induction and root system induction, and then it forms a entire plant. Okay, so this is called as the artificial seed. Artificial seed. Understood, children? So we learned that by what is mean by micropropagation. So like the banana, we can do this in for lot of plants. Okay, whatever plants you require, all those plants can be prepared by means of this technique. But if we are using some of the that is what the in a culture medium and some the sterilizing material, so these will slightly change from one plant to another plant based on the complex or based on the nature of the plant. Okay, so that is the difference. Other than that, it is easy or simple for all those things. Okay, and next one is called as a virus free plant. So we can create a transgenic plant. It is that is what it will from the can protect the plant from bacteria or fungi or some other things, but getting free from virus is very difficult. Getting free from the plant is very difficult. So for that, they are choosing a apical meristem. So apical meristem, where we can find the apical meristem? Apical meristem we can find in the root tip or the plant tip parts. Okay, so they are intercalary sites. Okay, lateral sites. So these are the area we can find the apical tips. So these apical meristems will be selected, and then the apical meristem will be allowed for plant tissue culture. So that plant will be having really it will be what it is. It will be grow as a viral free plant. It will be growing as a viral free plant. So that apical tissues will be undergo sterilization. All those things are common. If you want to plant tissue cultures, everything should be checked in correct way to go for the culture. Okay, so this is about the virus free plant. Okay, and next one is germplasm conservation. What does mean by germplasm conservation? We are conserving the seeds or plant products, plant genetic, that is which will form a new plant in future. All the things has to be stored in the proper way for future use. Okay, even it more million years ago also we can use it. It is able to use. So that is called as what? Germplasm conservation. So here what we are conserving? Conservation of living genetic resources. Living genetic resources like seeds. Seeds can be stored. Pollen grains can be stored. Tissues can be stored, or like the artificial seeds can be stored. All those things can be stored in for the future use. So here the DNA bank and gene bank, those agencies, lot of other agencies also involving in the storing of this germplasm. So they will be stored in a dry condition in the proper that is sterilized container for prolonged. So which should be closed airtightly for any if any humidity, it will start to germinate. To avoid it, so you have to protect everything. So you can. So have you experienced about the colossum of that temple? So what it tells about you? So in olden days, so that the colossum is there, no? So it will be placed in the toppermost area in that village. So maximum in villages, they will be, what they will keep in the colossum? They will keep the navadanyams. What the navadanyams? All those dhanyams which is good in condition, they are kept inside the colosseum. So if due to flood or due to some disaster, if the land or the farmer lost his what are the seeds and everything, from the they will go and ask that that is what that area person, and they will give them the seeds from that colosseum. So it is what, it is some type of storing the seeds. It is type of a germplasm conservation method we are followed in olden days. So that in particular temperature, that seeds will be preserved properly in that container. It also very good for storing the seeds. So we already that is our grandfathers and our elders all followed the conservation method before the formation of biotechnology, or before the invention of the scientific technologies. Okay, so this is called a germplasm conservation. So it can be used for the future. It can be used for the future hybridization and crop improvement. So if you want to improve, if you want to get the hybrids, we can get the germ from these DNA bank or gene bank, or from this any conservational banks. Okay, next is called as cryopreservation. So if you want to store, we have to go for preservation. Some of the germs can be preserved in dry, and some needs what that is what coolant temperature. So if preservation done in the coolant temperature, so it is called as cryopreservations. So even the germs, that's sperms or eggs, can also be stored in the cryopreservation for even millions of years too. Okay, so that is called as cryopreservations. They know by means of cryo, it says that cool. It says the cool. See, cryopreservation, we are conserving or preserving the genetic material under minus 196 degrees Celsius, under minus 196 degrees Celsius, and in like liquid nitrogen, so this liquid nitrogen is used as a that is what fuel for rocket and fuel for some agents, so that liquid nitrogen, what is the function of this liquid nitrogen? So it even in the that is what our fridge also, the gas, they will storing the gas, and that is what the AC and fridge, all those things, they will be using the nitrogen for the coolant reactor. Okay, so this under minus 196 degrees Celsius, they will be preserving the germs or whatever we need to do the cryopreservation must be preserved. So it is called as this cryopreservations. Okay, and before we have to go for cryopreservation, there is a treatment. So what it is said to be, some of the germs will be getting affected because of this treatment. To avoid it, it has to be coated with certain chemical substance. It acts as a biopreservant. What it is said to be, cryoprotectant. What it is said to be, cryoprotectant. This cryoprotectant, if we coated the particular thing, that will not affected by the less temperature or by the liquid nitrogen. So that is called as cryoprotectant. Here, dimethyl sulfonate or glycerol or sucrose. So these are all can be used as a cryoprotectant. So this cryoprotectant, first of all, after treating the cryoprotectant, after that it has to be placed in the cryopreservation for a long period of time. So it would not cause any problem, or it would not affect the characteristic feature of the germs or characteristic feature of the particular thing which you are storing it. Okay, so this is about the cryopreservation, also very important. 2 mark, 3 mark or 2 mark or 3 mark question. Okay, so germplasm, germ conservation also important, and this is also 2 mark question. Next one, we are going to learn about the biosafety, bioethics, and that is in biotechnology in future. So first is so here that is called as biosafety and implementation done by the biosafety is done by some of the implementers. Okay, so what is meant by biosafety? What is here biosafety? Biological, if you are dealing with biological treatment or even biotechnology or in the medicine field, whatever it may be, if you are dealing with the biological resources, they have lot of chance for our health issues. They can create any problems or any issues for our health. So how can we dealing all those things in properly? So especially if I take examples in hospitals, the waste are divided into different types. Okay, so there were some of them are biological waste, some are that is what some of them are said to be plastics. A lot of things will be there, the test tubes and rubbers, that is what tube, blood tube, that is transporting tubes. All those things, they will be segregated into different category as per the pathogen. And even the biological living, that is what blood and the pus, all those things, they will be go for incineration method, and some will be go for recycling method, some will be washing method, some will be what it is streaming method. So lot of procedures we have to follow. For example, like that, if you are practically, if you are dealing with the bioradiations, so that radiation measures we have to take. What is the radiation measures? We have to wear a proper dress which should not penetrate our body. So okay, because the radiation having very high intensity, it cause lot of mutation also in our cells. To avoid it, even it cause cancer. So while we dealing with the bioradioactivity objects, we have to take some measures. Okay, so like that, biosafety means while we dealing with the biological biotechnology, so we have to be careful. So while washing, all that area should be proper, no any other acids, no other any contaminations. So, and then if you are doing practicals also, that that airflow chamber, that is laminar airflow chamber, should be clean, and it has to be sterilized. Everything should be monitored by the biosafety. So everything should be maintained properly for our health issues, and for the people who are surrounding us, or for their health issues also. So it should not cause any effect, or it should not cause any disease, or should not cause any problem to others. So we have to be very careful to see about this biosafety. So this biosafety can be controlled by certain organization that is given here in your book. So IBSC and RCGM, and then Department of Biotechnology, and GEAC and Genome Modification, or that is what GMO, Gene Modifications Organization, like those things. A lot of other that is organizations are there. They will be controlling the biosafety. So they will come and check, and suddenly they will come and they will check whether the biosafety is followed by the lab or that organizations, and that, or then they can give the permission, or all those things will be done by them. Okay, so that is called as biosafety. So you can go for the applications and uses, all those things in their book, you can go and refer. And next one is bioethics. So bioethics is nothing but it's study of ethical issues and advanced in biological and medicine. What is meant by bioethical? Biological ethics. Biological ethics means if the research what you have done, if the issues or the research what you done or what you invented, if it can have a good value, it will be checked, or if it will give trouble. So if you are going to do any DNA alteration, so this alteration will be successfully obtained in the progeny, or it cause any other problem. So even if you using one of the RNA to stop its production, so whether it is good or it may cause some other problems. So even it cause death of the persons. The recombinant DNA technology, biotechnology, we are dealing plant tissue cultures, all those things. No, whatever procedure we are following, with your procedure, your methods, your using agency, everything they will come, they will going to check. Everything they will go and check whether it is good or whether it cause problems, and they will be asking you lot of questions if you are going and getting to before. After invention, you have to go and meet those peoples, so that they are called as bioethicist, who is called as who going to check all those things, biological ethic of your inventions. They are called as bioethicist. Okay, that they will ask you lot of questions regarding your inventions and the different dimensions, and then they will find the value, and they then find the benefits of your inventions, and if any problems or any drawbacks are there, they will neglect your inventions. Okay, so it is very important. That is called as your bioethic. And cloning. So even cloning also, if we can create a cloning, what is meant by cloning? Say preparing a same Xerox copy. So double the same person has to be copied again. So still it is not agreed by the organization, because it can create lot of problems. So even again Hitler may come. So if we have the that is germs of or DNA of Hitler, so we can form again a Hitler. Again Hitler, imagine it. Again Hitler is coming back. So it is we cannot tolerate the person. Okay. So for these things, we are still, it is not government is not allowing us to do the cloning. And for certain that is what certain researchers and certain other byproducts, for example for human blood and for human blood vessels preparation, or for this stem cell formation, some other the cloning can be done in some other animals, but it does not still agree what it is still it is not applied for human being. Okay, so if we have the permission, we can form any persons with us with its DNA or with its any cell. Okay, so that is called as bioethic. We have to the person who going to invent, a person who invented has to have he should have a proper thing to answer the bioethist. Okay, so they can ask in any angle of questions regard. It is not to suppress you, it is not to suppress you. They will be protecting us, and they also checking the protection for others because of using your product. Okay, so that is called as bioethic studies. So and then it is controlled by that ELLC. So the biological, and they will be that is legally social implementations. If it is correct, or if it is what it is your inventions or invention done by single person or invention done by a group of person is correct, then a percentage will be provided from the that is what a human genome project. So from the human genome project, so they will be having certain amount. So from that amount, certain percentage will be donated for the bioethics fund for the things. Okay, for this is called as what bioethics and ELSI. And some of the person, if for example due to some if you are using surrogated mother, because of surrogated mothers in certain conditions, either surrogated mother can be affected or the original mother can be affected, or if any DNA is altered for a person, sometimes it may cause a that is negative effect. If it is caused negative effect, the person cannot be accepted by others. So in such case, that persons can be undertaken by the government, and they can provide some government job like that, or the government can provide some amount of money for getting a stable life for them. So like those things are there, that is are taken by the ELSI, that is ethical, legal, social implementation. Okay, so and so these are all controlled by our National Institute of Health and US Department of Energy. These two organizations is controlling the bioethics and ELSI. Okay, so they will be providing a percentage from the Human Genome Project budget for the LC. Okay, LSI. And next one as last is called as future biotechnology. What is meant by future biotechnology? Future biotechnology and even this ethics, so they will be designing us, or they will be scope for future life. So whether we can go for some planets, or even now also we are searching some of them going to stay in some other planets, but it is still it's practical is growing on, some procedure is going on. So in future it may also possible, and for that possibility we have to go and get the permission from those peoples. Okay, so if they only allow us to go or not, they will be deciding us, and they will be suggesting us can be going or not. For all those things we have to face this bioethics. Okay, and next last one we said the future biotechnology. So even now in this 21st century we have developed a lot of technological events. See, imagine the insulin production of human being. So in olden days, the insulin production, so if a person is applied, I'm going to produce insulin. So see how many of them rise the controversy. How many of them have raised controversy regarding insulin. How you can prepare insulin? It is only synthesized in our body. How you can prepare outside? Like this, lot of questions will be asked by the bioethicists. But now successfully they are preparing the insulin, and even the question may arise. So only the doctors or the nurse can give the injection. How a normal man can give an injection by himself? These are all some of the controversy question asked by the bioethicists. By all are solved, and all are corrected, and all are now it is followed. We are all following now. Now max the very common issues, but diabetes, that is diabetes mellitus or diabetes insipidus. So in future, in future, even now we are using, recently also we are using lot of things under the biotechnological product, stem cell culture, gene therapy, all those things we are going for biotechnology in future. So for suppose if you want to get a tastiest and different variety of mango, so we can obtain from a single plant by using the biotechnology. So even maximum 50% of the object which we are using now, it's of biological product. For cosmetics, if you take cosmetics, if you take medicine, if you take what your dairy products, your food products, everything is for 90%, more evenly 90 or maximum of the percentage scope of the what it is biotechnology. See, in future maximum all the 100% will go for the, so without any doubt. So if, in future new scientific revolution can be created by us. Okay, so this is about the plant tissue cultures, that is whatever things in the lesson. And already we learned that bio patent and what it is, intellectual right of intellectual person's right, all those things, property right, intellectual property right. Okay, so what is patent? Patent means if you invent anything, you have to get the patent. If you got the patent, no one can claim or no one can raise question. So but it has to be proper and it should not be invented previously by any other persons. So these are all patent. We'll all learn the focus of the patent. We learn the rules and regulation of the patent, and we learned how can we apply the patent, how can we how can we maintain the patents. So for the patent is what, only for 20 years, only for 20 years. After 20 years it has to be become a public for all, it has to be a public product for all can use. So within the 20 years you can gain more. So if you got the patent for the 20 years, again if you want to renew, you have to apply for that, and again you have to pay some money and to maintain the further license or patent for your objects. So these are all about given in your biotechnology chapter. So what we learned in the beginning, we learned the basic concept of biotechnology. So what is a basic concept? Differentiation, idiotypotency, redifferentiation, dedifferentiation, everything we learned. And then what we learned? And then we learned about the biotechnology, that is sterilization method. So sterilization method, what we learned under the sterilization method, so each and everything, wall to floor and everything has to be sterilized, everything has to be sterilized. And a lot of agency also used, detergent, including detergent and mercury, 1% of mercury chloride, sodium hydroxide, a lot of things we learned, all those things are useful for the sterilization function. After the sterilization, the TPH, temperature, all those things should be maintained. And then we have to do the plant tissue cultures only under the germ-free environment. For that we learned about the autoclave and also other instrument like electronic balance for measuring the that is what measuring the culture medium, all those things. Okay, and what we learned about the laminar airflow chamber, and it has to maintain pH properly, and temperature should be maintained properly. And we learned lot of other things regarding the, so we have to sterile the room, we have to sterile the explant, we have to sterile the culture medium, we have to sterile the glasswares, and all those things should be sterile when properly. And then only we have to prepare the culture medium. That culture medium has to be sterilized by using the autoclaves. And if you want to separate the cells in different layers, you can go for the centrifugation, filtrations like plant extract, hormones, enzymes can be filter by using the microfilters, 0.2 mm porosity filter paper. So and then after that we have to prepare involving in the preparation of tissue culture, that is culture medium preparation. And then we learned about different types of culture medium and how can we prepare them, culture medium, everything we learned. So next one, the procedure of plant tissue culture also we learned. So in procedure of culture medium we learned the steps, lot of steps involved. So in our first one, the preparation of culture medium, sterilization, induction, inoculation of these cells, and callus formation. From the callus formation, embryoid formation, from the embryoid plantlet formation, and then it is hardening process. All those things we learned. And then types of biotechnology. What is plant tissue culture types? Organ, from the organ we can plant, or from the protoplast fusion, or by means of what, cell suspensions. So like this, lot of steps, 4 types we learned. And now we have learned that micropropagation, and we learned about artificial seed preparation, and free from viral free plant, and germplasm conservation, cryopreservation, biosafety, bioethic, and future biotechnology. And we learned about the cryo protectant, which is important. 1 mark or even 2 mark question. Children, I hope you understood the biotechnology chapter. In next video we will see with the next new lesson. Thank you, children.